All right, so good morning, everyone. We're going to play with some Warrior 3 ideas today, but we're going to start laying down. I want you to do two different things. Take your blocks and put them toward the end of your mat, but not like all the way at the end. Kind of, maybe a foot back from the end of your mat. And then take your strap, if you have one, and make it really make it into a big loop. Now, the size of that big loop is going to change depending on how tall you are. And if your strap isn't long enough for as tall as you are, I'll give you a second option. We're going to take that strap and wrap it around our or put it around our bodies. And then as you lay down, the strap is going to be right at the sacrum, right? Right at that sacrum. Now, if you're super tall and your strap is not long enough, so I'm 5'7", this is an 8-foot strap, it's about perfect. So if you have an 8-foot strap and you're taller, you might not want to put it behind you, just keep it to the side and you'll use it a different way. All right, so with all of that, come on down. You can let that strap alone, just check it. It's underneath your sacrum. And then you can leave it be. And let your shoulders come down to the floor. And again, if you're super tall and your strap isn't like a 10-foot strap, you might just leave it out from under you, or you can try it and see what happens. So your feet are on the floor. Your shoulders are descending down to the floor. I want you to take your hands to your belly, one lower, one higher. Let the shoulders rest on the floor. Let the elbows be soft. And then close your eyes and just feel yourself breathe. Feel the inhale and the exhale. And while you're settling in, maybe you check your pelvis and see where it aligns. See where it falls in space, right? Are the hips feeling fairly level? And bring that breath, that inhale into the belly and feel that belly rise up. And then as you exhale, let it go. Draw the belly in nice and deep on the exhale, and then soften it and inhale. Couple more. And then release the hands, take the arms overhead. If your hands, the back of your hands don't touch the floor easily, just bend the elbows as much as you need to so that the arms are not hanging. And then straighten both legs and take those legs over your blocks. Now, for my lovely hyperextended knee girls out there, mostly it's the gals, I want you to keep a softness to the back of the knees. Don't let the blocks cause you to hyperextend. And then flex your feet. Draw the belly in, draw the low ribs in, push into the blocks. Maybe you can lift your butt an inch, not even a couple, not even an inch, a half of an inch, a quarter of an inch. And exhale, let go of the feet. Now, if this is not going to work for you, if you feel it in your knees, then don't lift, just engage. So press into the back of the hands, engage the glutes, tone in through the belly, Try to push up just a little. And exhale down. Soften everything. Good. One more time here. Back of the hands, the glutes get active, right? Fire them up before you try to move. Flex your feet to engage the quadriceps and lift those hips any amount you can. And exhale, let go. Whew. Good. Release those arms. Bend your right knee. Your left leg is going to stay on your block. And if the block feels funky where you have it, like if it's pushing into your Achilles tendon and you don't like that, you can move the blocks a little bit one way or the other. Your hands are around your right knee. I want you to press your right knee away. We've been doing this a ton. So level out your pelvis, push that knee away, lift your left leg. Good. Breathe, flex your feet or press through the ball mounds and lift the left leg. And exhale, release. Just let it tap your block. And then inhale it up. Exhale, lower. Try not to rock through your pelvis. Good. 3 more. Inhale up. Exhale. 2 more. Last one. And then lift the left leg, bring it up at a diagonal so it's pointing toward maybe the corner, the far corner of the ceiling. Level out the pelvis, tone in through your belly, push your other knee away, hold. And exhale, release. Straighten your right leg, both legs straight, check out the hips. And then switch sides, bring the left knee in. Wrap those fingers around the front of the knee, push your knee away. Start to notice where you bring the hips normally, right? Is the left hip hiking up or really lowered down? Just feel that. As you press through the hands, you should feel yourself land on the center of your sacrum. Lift the right leg, pause. You can either flex the feet or press through the ball mounds, and then lift it up. Check and see, are you rocking on the pelvis on this one? As you lower, tap your block and do 4 more, just like that. If you are rocking, either press through that bent knee more or don't lift as high, okay? And breathe. There's a little space that stays behind the low back. Good. 1 more right here. And lower. And then take it about a quarter of the way up. Reach through the belly, press the shoulders down. Hold your pose here, just working with the legs. And exhale, lower it down. And straighten the left leg. Good. Press both heels of both feet on the blocks. Good. If you have to scoot a little one way or the other, go ahead and do that. Lengthen through your tailbone. Take the fingers underneath your sacrum. So you are going toward a flat back here. I want you to lift the heels a couple of inches off the floor. If that's like no way, no how, 1 heel at a time. So core work here. Find your breath. The hands under the sacrum are helping to support the low back. I still have some space behind my lower back, okay? But if you're flat, that's okay too. If you don't need the hands underneath at all, you can take those out. Big time core work. You should feel this like really solid belly here as it's having to hold these legs up at this very bizarre angle. And then tap 1 heel and then the other. You are only lifting a few inches. So you have to keep this belly engaged. Ooh, don't take the knees up any higher. If you have low back pain, then bring the legs closer to you and higher up. Good. Breathe. Yep. Everybody feeling this one? 5, 4. Don't rock the pelvis. 3 and 2. Oh, and 1. And bring the knees to chest. Let your back flatten. Maybe take your head up toward your knees for a moment and lower down. Feet to the floor. We're almost done with this one. Once again, come to a level pelvis. Take the arms as if you were doing, I don't know, hand to opposite elbow in front of you. So I'm actually looking at my arms. My forearms are kind of crossed with each other. I don't know what you would call this, but hold on to the arms just like that. Now, neck issues, one hand goes behind the head, the other arm goes in this form. Inhale, take a deep breath. As you exhale, curl up and look at your knees. So you got a big chin tuck here, hold, and then left shoulder toward the right knee. Yep, you're just leaning to one side. Come to the middle, go the other way, right elbow toward left knee, go to the middle, and lower down. Let the arms go overhead. Good. Exhale. Let's do it again. Squeeze up. Elbow to your right knee. Center. Right elbow to left knee. Center. Lower down. Arms overhead. Yep. And remember, neck stuff, right? Just take one hand behind the head. Here we go. Last one. Inhale first. Exhale, curl. And elbow to opposite knee. And center. And opposite knee. And center. And lower down all the way. Arms overhead. Whew, and then release those arms fully. So you're going to take your strap that's been sitting there very patiently waiting, and if it's going to be in a nice big loop, I want you to take your left foot into the loop. Now you might have to adjust some things. Ideally, your strap end, your tail end is where you can get to it. But if not, don't worry about it. You just want to have it tight enough. And the strap is closer to the heel than it is to the toes. So bring it through the arch and toward the heel. Once you've got that distance, and the base of the strap, right, is under your sacrum, take your other leg and bring it to your block. Flex both feet and see if you can extend through the left leg. So the one that's reaching up toward the ceiling. There should be a solid connection between your foot and your sacrum, straight up and down. Don't worry about how straight it is up toward the ceiling. See if you can get the knee straight. Now, engage your right leg, flex your foot, and think warrior three as a pose, because this is our alignment, right? We're going to have one leg on the floor. So our left leg you can pretend that's on the floor. And then the right leg would be straight out from the hip. Engage your right glute, press through your left leg, hold right here, take both arms up, draw the shoulders down, and flex your hands. So this would be if we had our hands on blocks, which we're gonna do, and we're practicing warrior three with hands on our blocks. Find your breath, everybody. And then take those same arms overhead. Don't let them come all the way to the floor. Hold on to the beach ball. And this would be warrior three if our arms were reaching forward, our leg going one way, our arms going the other way. Breathe. And then release, grab a hold of your strap, listen up. You're going to bend the knee, just put your other foot in it. Take your left foot out, take your right foot in, you know the song, and press through the right leg. Let the left leg rest on the block and breathe. So we're using the blocks here because if you were truly standing, your leg wouldn't be dropping down at that angle from a standing standpoint. So we want to keep everything level. Engage the left glute, press through the right heel, feel the connection from hip to sacrum. The hips are level. Take the arms up to the ceiling, drop the shoulders back, flex your hands. And breathe. Try to extend through the elbows. Try to extend through the knee. Don't hyperextend. Breathe. Now, if your strap is not long enough, and I'm sorry, I forgot to say this on the other side, it's not around you. You're just holding it in place and still activating this leg, but you're just not, you don't have it around you. And then take the arms overhead, turn the palms towards each other. Don't let the hands come all the way to the floor. Activate the back body. The head is lengthened. We're finding our breath. Breathe. Good. Release. Grab a hold of your strap. Bend your knees. Switch the legs once more. Find your breath. Good. A little bit of core work added into this one. So we're back in the same side. And unless the length of your legs is drastically different, you shouldn't have to adjust. Now I want you to pull that strap away. So really press it away. Level out the hips, squeeze your belly. See if you can lift your right leg a few inches off your block. So this really would be more of a pyramid type pose. The alignment is the same, but I'm really pressing the left foot up toward the ceiling. And if you don't feel like you can get a good press, just grab your strap and pull down on it so that you have more connection, or tighten it, right? Breathe. Take the arms toward your foot, the one that's up toward the ceiling. Drop the shoulders down. Find your breath, everybody. And exhale, let go. Whew. Bend your left knee, switch one more time. Left leg goes to the block, right leg goes straight up. I'm first going to get my alignment, make sure my knee is pointing straight forward, the foot's pointing straight forward. I've got good purchase here, and breathe. I'm pressing back down through the sacrum. Once you're ready, see if you can lift the left leg a little bit off that block, maybe 6 to 12 inches off the block. The belly squeezes in. The arms rise up toward the foot. The shoulders stay down. Big deep breath, everyone. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Lower the leg. Bend your knee. Oh, take that block, that strap out, and take it all the way out from under you. Good. Take your strap, your left leg back in your strap. We're almost done with this. Your right leg can either rest on the block or you can kick the block out of the way. So for this, it's either one is okay. Take the strap in your left hand. Start to externally rotate the left leg, but then take it out to the left. I've got a wall here, but I really don't need a lot more space because I want to keep the right hip on the floor. So if you happen to be near a wall and want to play here, you can take that foot to a wall and then play with the hips, right? Play with lining up the hips and feeling the stretch in the inner thigh without lifting the opposite hip off the floor. Deep breath. And then engage the lower abs. Grab the strap with your right hand. Pull the leg up and across. Keep it going until you lean on your right side and the sacrum is level, meaning the sacrum is straight up and down. So my foot is not on the floor. The sacrum is level. I'm going to lengthen my tailbone. This is a bunch of work here, right? I'm going to move the left hip away from the left side ribs, flex the foot, maybe open up the left arm. Big old stretch here, and then squeeze it all the way up. Woo. Bend the knee, release. I'm going to turn around so I don't have the wall there, but straighten both legs and see how that feels. All right, other side. So take the strap in your right foot, take it up to the ceiling. Left leg is either straight or on your block. Belly is toned in, the hips are level, the strap's in your right hand. Take that right leg, externally rotate it, and then take it out to the right. And once again, play with the hips and see if you can honestly keep your left hip on the floor, right? Don't let it rise up, which means you're just not going to go very far. Most of you are not going to go very far here. Breathe. Just notice. And then reach over, grab the strap with your left hand. Engage your belly, pull the leg up, allow it to go all the way over until you can find somewhat level sacrum, which means that sacrum, if you were leaning back against a wall, that sacrum would be on the wall, straight up and down. I know this is a lot. If it's too much, bend the extended leg. Find your breath. Good. Squeeze your belly. Lift it up, everybody. Bend your knee. Woo. Take both feet in your strap. We're almost done. Take the legs wide. If you haven't messed with your loop, you're probably at just about the right length for you. If it's too much, shorten it up. Press the outer edges of your feet into the strap as if you were stepping on the floor. This is going to holy moly change your stretch because you're lengthening through the outer ankles as if you could pigeon toe your feet. It's a whole big move here, so be gentle. And then release and go the other way. Bring the heels in more, turn the toes out more. Legs pretty straight, low back stuff, or you need a little more support. The hands go underneath your sacrum. Good. And then pigeon toe again. It's not a big move, but you're going to feel this internal rotation. And toes out. Woo. Breathe, everybody. And then reach up, grab your strap, pull that strap down, let your legs come back together, flex your feet, pull out through the big toe mounds reaching up toward the ceiling. You've got a hand on either side of your strap. Both feet are flexed. You're on the center of your sacrum. Good, breathe. Take the strap out, keep the legs. Engage your belly, thumbs can go underneath your sacrum. Slowly lower your right leg a couple of, or all the way, almost all the way down to the floor. Both legs extended. So now we're working without the strap for support. Inhale, bring the right leg up. Exhale, lower the right leg down. Sorry, I had you switch there. Inhale, both legs up. Exhale, bend those knees. Woo! Shake, shake, shake it out. And then come on up to a seat, everybody. That was a long warm up. In fact, I think we're going to come right up to table pose. Have your blocks in front and come up to table pose. You know to cushion your knees if you need to. Come on down on the hands, spread the fingers, hang on to that beach ball. And I heard another interesting cue for this. One is to, which I've heard before, have the inner elbow face toward in the same direction as your thumbs is one cue. And the one I liked more was to spin the biceps toward the front of your mat. That one was new for me. Tone in through the belly, press your right leg back, lift the right foot off the floor, level out your pelvis, and then find the center line of both your hands and the knee that's on the floor. What does that mean? If I lean back, if I'm pulling my leg back, right, I'm not at the center of my knee or hands. If I lean too far forward, I'm not on either. I want you to come right to the center line. And then turn the right toes out and lift the leg, little baby pulses. Try to keep the leg straight, the knee straight. Pulse. Think of the glute muscle that you're working right now. Breathe. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Turn the toes back down and release. Good. Other side, same thing. Find the center line. Lift the leg, tone in through the ribs and the low belly. Breathe. Engage the glutes. Imagine somebody's pulling that leg back and you're resisting. So the whole line of that leg gets long. Turn the toes out and just small pulses to work with a very specific part of the glutes. Good. Keep the low belly toned in. Doesn't have to be tight. Keep it going. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Turn the toes back, level that hip, and lower the leg. Flip your toes under. Take the knees off the floor a few inches. Once again, bring the front ribs and the front belly in. Reach the palms forward as you press the chest back. Begin to straighten the legs. Don't straighten them all the way. Take your feet wide on your mat. Level the knees and the feet so that they're both pointing in the same direction. Then straighten the legs. And breathe, everybody. And just notice, maybe rock a little side to side. Keep the arms, shoulders engaged. I want you to walk. You bend the knees as much as you need to. I want you to walk the hands back, one hand print. Reach the chest in, open up the upper shoulders. Breathe. Walk them back, one hand print. Open the shoulders, right? Every time you move, readjust. Walk them back one more. Hold. Breathe. Open up the upper shoulders. External rotation. One more hand print. I know it's getting harder. Breathe. Don't round the upper back. And then everybody come onto the ball mounds of your feet. Ball mounds of your feet, like you're doing a big deep squat. Walk the hands back, drop your heels, lift up halfway. Hands to knees, and come on up. Whew. Shake it out, shake out those wrists. Grab your strap and your blocks. Blocks are gonna go right in front of you. You're gonna stay sideways on your mat. And we're gonna grab our lovely little loop. I know it gets tricky when we're working with the strap a bunch on camera. It can get real tricky. So just do your best. You're gonna step on one side of your strap. You're gonna step on the other side, and then you're gonna heel toe out until your legs are in a wide leg pose. Your strap might be too long, okay? Don't overdo this. If you need to, tighten the strap up. I want good purchase on the strap. I want the toes slightly pointed in, slightly pointed in. Yep. So different than our usual toes out. Press out through the strap. If this is messing you up in any way, balance-wise or otherwise, just don't use the strap. Might not be worth it. And then hinge from the hips, pull against your strap. Pull, pull, pull. Tone the belly in, take your hands to your blocks. And take the blocks up at least at second level, everybody, at second level, so that you can stay halfway up. And I want you to pull the heels out in this pose, like really actively drag them out to the sides and feel where you feel this. Where do you feel this, right? I feel it in my butt, right? It's right up at this outer edge of the glutes. And that's what we're thinking about. Keep a softness to the knees so that you don't hyperextend. Push into your blocks to lift halfway up. Now, draw the low belly in. That's going to make you feel like you're rounding your lower back. Draw the low ribs in. So now you're rounded even more, but then lengthen through the chest so that it levels itself back out again. Push through the legs. Keep working here. If you can, one hand to your hip, other hand to your hip. Now you're supporting your torso with the legs, with your core, and then stand all the way up. Yeah, I know. And then heel toe in enough to step out of your strap. Bring the blocks to the front of your mat, maybe up at the highest level. And once again, we're playing with this strap a whole bunch. Please be mindful because it gets tricky from a balance standpoint. So you got your big old loop. I want you to step your left leg through the loop, okay? So that the front, and you can even hang on to it, and I'm just gonna turn mine around so my tail is on the outside, so that the front of this strap's gonna go to your front hip, okay? And then you're gonna come toward the front. You're gonna try to hook it with your right foot and step back into a lunge, okay? So it's a kind of tricky way of doing that. Watch your buckle. I have to tighten up my strap to make this work, and you can keep the line shorter. And Betty, just be super mindful there. And then that strap is hooking right at the ball mound, right? The back ball mound of your foot, and your front knee is in its pose. So see if you can come on the ball mound of your back foot instead of dropping the heel. I know it gets trickier. And this front hip, so Judy, your strap's super loose, and that's up to you. Don't worry about it if you can't. I would just, yeah, there you go. So if you can't get this without feeling really wonky, don't worry about it. So I made my lunge longer, so I have a bunch of purchase with this front strap. Then I'm gonna lean forward and take my hands to my blocks. Again, strap work can be tricky when you're doing it, especially on Zoom. So don't worry about it if you can't get it. If your strap's just messing you up, think about the connection between the front hip and the back leg. So draw the front hip back and into alignment. Tone the belly in, press strongly through your back leg. 1, stay here. 2, take your hands back to your knee. Woo! 3, take the arms up. Breathe. Keep reaching that back foot back, right? Feel the ball mound, pushing that strap in further. And then release. Woo! Shorten your pose. Step forward and grab your strap. I know that's tricky, but hang in there because we're going to be doing it a lot. So same thing, other side. You're going to take the front, you're going to step through, and the front of that strap is at the front of your right hip crease. I'm not mirroring because, Lordy, that would be a mess. Front hip crease, and then your right foot comes toward the front of your mat. You're going to grab the strap with your left foot and then step back. And then you're going to see if you can come on to the ball mound of that foot. And if you can't, and Lynn is demoing for me over there, if you can't, take your hands to the block, then find the lunge, and then come up. So it's the same thing, right? I'm almost pulling myself forward. I'm actually moving my front foot forward to see if I can get a really sweet connection between the back foot and the front thigh. And it's causing the hips to come forward. The back glute activates, the belly tones in, feeling really strong. Take your hands to your blocks, play with your alignment here. Now, if you were thinking of Warrior 3, what would we be doing? Our back leg would be super active. Our front leg would be straight. Our hands will either be on the block or lifted. Right? Guess where we're headed. Breathe. So feel that really nice connection. Either stay here or take your hands to your knee again. Tone in, don't overdo. Arms up, lots of balance here. Breathe. And then exhale, down you go. Shorten up your stance. Come up to a standing position. Just take your strap up around your shoulder, get it out of the way. Grab one block, place it between your thighs, and give it a little squeeze. And breathe. And then imagine with that squeeze of the blocks that you're trying to pull the heels out, like you're trying to pigeon toe your feet. isometrically. So for me, I feel like I'm really pigeon toeing. And when I look down, I'm like, oh, I'm not really. So just kind of notice how that feels in your body. Big deep breath. Good. And then try to pull the heels in and pull the toes or the ball mounds out and notice how that feels in your body. I feel like I have a little badge on, like a little crossing guard or something, right? And release it, everybody. Set your block back down. We're going to go back to the first side, which means I'm going to take the strap, step my left leg through. Maybe I should turn around. So the strap is on the left side. I'm going to hook onto it with my right foot and step back. I don't want to step back as far, but I want this. So the strap might not be super tight to start. I'm going to walk my foot forward. I'm going to try to get on the ball mount. I'm going to take my hands to my blocks and breathe. Now, if your blocks are up high, you know they're more wobbly. So pay attention to that and make sure the pressure is straight down. So what I'm going to do is start to lift up through the ball mound of my back foot and walk my blocks forward. And then I'm going to hop up just a little more, walk my blocks forward more. And then I'm going to see if I can stand. Take that leg up. You're pressing through the front thigh and the back foot. Feel the center of your feet. If your blocks feel wobbly, lower them to the second level. Try to keep the torso nice and even. Big deep breath, everybody. This is a ton of work. And then lower down. Woo! Walk your blocks back. Take your hands to your knee. Come on up. Grab your strap and step out. Right? It's an amazing thing. But when we think about, a lot of times we do warrior 3 and the back leg isn't doing anything. This is teaching us to get the back leg to be really active and feel that connection from front leg to back leg. All right, strap, step through right side. So that strap is right at that hip crease. Face your blocks. Whoop. Step on it with your left leg and step back. And truly, again, if the strap is not working for you, you can do everything we're doing without it. You're going to lean forward. Hands are on your blocks. I'm going to start to look for that purchase. My back foot is straight, not turned. Find your breath. And then I'm going to just lift up a little, walk the blocks forward. My blocks feel real tippy today, so I'm taking mine lower, and then I'm going to stand up. Don't hyperextend the knee. Your wrists and your shoulders are lined up. You're still holding on to that beach ball. The collarbones are wide. I just realized I was leaning into my big toe mount, so I'm going to push my foot into the strap more and bring myself more centered in my foot. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, lower. Walk the blocks back. Come on up to standing. I know. Take the strap off. Set it aside. You're like, oh, thank God. Grab your block. Take it between your knees. Most narrow setting. Ideally, walk the feet in so that they're level. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, hands to heart, have a seat. Lengthen your tailbone. Lift the chest. Soften the ribs in. And breathe. 1, you're here. Press the toes out, the feet out as if you could separate them. Take the arms up. Belly tones in. Don't reach with the front ribs. I can picture one of you right now. Breathe. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Take your hands to your thighs. Press the hips back, straighten the legs. Take your hands either to your shins or to the floor. Big deep breath. Bend the knees. Take your hands to your knees. Come on up, everybody. Grab your block. Oh, oh, I'm full of sounds today. Set your blocks away or down for now. Come into just a slightly wider stance. Bend the knees as if you were going to do a squat. Take your hands to your knees, right? Check what you're doing here. Don't overarch, don't round. See if you can find neutral. Take the hands to the outside of your knees and push the knees out. Try not to drop the head, real easy tendency to look down at your feet. Push, 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 push. Breathe. 5, lift your toes. 4, 3, 2, 1, and then stand up and shake it out. Good. Come to the front of your mat, everybody. Inhale, reach up. Exhale all the way down. Step back, right leg. Hands come to your knee. Think about that strap being there. Draw the left hip back. Feel the connection left hip to right foot. Take the arms up. Use your breath, everybody. Woo! Little wobbly. Exhale, hands come down. Step back to downward facing dog. Pedal out your feet. Listen up. Come up. This is optional. Listen up, everybody. Come up to your ball mount. Lift the left leg. And as you take the left leg up, drop the right heel any amount that you can. Breathe. Lower the left leg. Come back up onto the tippy toes or the ball mound, really. Lift your right leg. And as you take the right leg up, lower the left heel. Breathe. Press through those arms, everybody. And release. Inhale to plank. Exhale, lower the knees, maybe a little baby chaturanga. I'm going to hit my blocks. Slide the elbows forward. Come to Sphinx. Rock a little bit side to side. Yeah, just stretch through the psoas muscles, right? Get into that belly. Come to center. Drop down. Push up. Downward facing dog. And then right foot forward. Left foot forward. Bent knees, come on up. Ooh. Exhale to heart. One more side. Inhale, take it up. Exhale, forward fold. Open up the shoulders here, soften the knees, step back, left leg. Level out the hips, think about that strap being there. Hands come to knee. Reach back with the back heel. Open up the hips and tone in through the front body. I'm really glad there's a wall here. I don't know about you all. Take the arms up. I realize how much I'm leaning into my wall this morning, and I'm so sorry about that for everybody else. Breathe. Exhale, slowly come down. Step back to downward facing dog. Find your pose, spread through your fingers. Come up to tippy toes. Peel the right foot off. As the right foot lifts, the left heel descends. The hands stay the same. Breathe. Release. Foot down. Come back to the ball mound. Lift the left leg as the right foot descends. Don't overlift. Real tempting. to take that hip high and lower. Float to plank. Take the knees down or not. Chaturanga. Release either Sphinx or low cobra. Good. Press back to child's pose or come down to your belly. And find your breath. Deep breath, everybody. Exhale it all the way out. Inhale, deep breath. Exhale it out. All right, bring yourself to table pose. You know we got to finish what we started. Down dog. Take your feet wide. One hand print back, hold. One hand print back, hold. One hand print back. Lift onto the ball mounds, walk the hands closer, watch your balance, and then drop the heels and come on up to standing. Whew. Shake it out. Grab your blocks and take them on the highest level. And I would take them off mat. Like if you have the room, just take them off mat right in front of your mat. And then hinge from your hips and take your hands to your blocks so that roughly, relatively, your wrists and your shoulders are lined up. And then walk the feet back so that your ankles and your hips make a straight line up. Can be hard to feel that sometimes. Good, breathe. When you're ready, plant your left foot. Peel your right foot and slide that right foot along your mat until it lifts up. Think about the strap wrapped around the left hip, all the way to the right foot. Adjust your blocks as needed. See if you can keep them up at the highest level, but lift the weight away from the blocks instead of down to the blocks. Big deep breath. Lower that foot down. Bend both knees, just kind of lean back a little. Stretch it out. I know this is a lot. And then straighten the legs. Let's do the other side. Start to peel the left foot, slide it back, lift it up, tone the belly in, try to level out the hips. Find the center of your foot, the standing foot. Find the center of that standing foot. Nice long torso. Good. Lower the leg. Bend the knees, hands to knees. Come on up. Whew. Shake it all out. And set your blocks aside. Good. Just take a moment, kind of walk around or walk up and down your mat, right? It's like, okay, what's wrong with her? She's walking up and down her mat. Ooh. Shake it out. Excuse me. So Warrior 3, I find it a particularly challenging pose. I am not a huge fan of arms out because I got long arms and long legs and it's hard. But it doesn't mean that we don't try. And I love the airplane version where the weight stays back here, a little bit easier. So we're just going to play here. I want you to take the left foot forward and a short step back with the right foot. And imagine Warrior 3. Okay, even with your front knee a little bit bent, I want you to draw the left hip back, tone all this in, hold on to the beach ball, and then start to come to the ball mound of your back foot. From here, take your hands to your hips and see if you can stand up and lift off. Just that simple. And then step down, that's simple, and release, switch sides. Everything levels out, hips are pointing forward, the arms reach out, I'm holding onto the beach ball. I'm gonna start to lean forward, maybe the hands come to the hips, and I lift up. And then down, and shake it out. We got one left, and here's how I like to come into Warrior 3. And I'm on a double mat, and I'm so tempted to come off it, but Here's how I like to come in. So my right foot's forward, and I like to almost launch a little bit, and I don't know, I've never seen other teacher do this, but I like this. I like this idea of pushing the arms forward as the leg goes back. So for me, I'm gonna reach forward and lift the leg. At the same time, the arms go out. And breathe. And then I'm gonna release and come down. And switch sides. How did that feel to, like that little launch thing? Yeah, right? So left foot's forward, right foot is back. My arms, you're thinking about it. I'm warming up, right? And then I'm gonna go, all right, I'm gonna go for it. What's the worst that's gonna happen is one, you over launch, or or you come back down like I'm doing right now. And breathe. And come on down. And bring the right foot forward. Step the left foot back, arms back, airplane pose. Again, for me, much more stable. Usually, the chest has to stay open though. So here we are. I'm gonna launch, but I'm gonna trick it, and I'm gonna take the arms back when I'm ready. And then I'm gonna lower, and I'm gonna switch. It's like, just kidding, not really gonna take my arms forward. Here we go, ready? Reach back. And release it. Oh, shake it out, everybody. Grab your blocks. Take them where you can get to them. On the side of your mat somewhere. Inhale, reach up. Exhale down. Step back to downward facing dog. Grab one of your blocks, put it between your thighs. Walk the feet in until you can find purchase on the block. And the block can be the nearest level, that's where I have mine, or it can be middle. And just squeeze your block. Take a deep breath. And then tippy toes down to the knees. Take the block out. Curl your ankles and come on down. Coming down to your block, you're still coming down to your back, you're still going to need a block. Come on down. Oh. Wee. So feel the hips. Whew. Do a couple pelvic tilts and tucks, everybody. And then inhale and tilt to move your back away from the floor. Exhale, tuck. Press into your feet, lift a few inches off the floor. We've been playing with this a lot. So tuck, 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 tuck your hips under, your sit bones under, until you can feel, if you put your hands there, you can feel the engagement of the muscles right around the sit bones. So the knees press out a little bit, but you're not lifting into a full bridge pose. Just breathe. Nice long tuck, more than you think, but don't overdo it, especially if it hurts. Take a deep breath and release that down. Grab your block, place it between your knees at the narrowest setting. Inhale and tilt. Exhale, tuck, tuck, and lift. Don't come up high. Breathe. Lengthen through the tailbone. Every exhale draws that lower belly in and up. Give that block a good squeeze. So on a scale of 1 to 10, if 10 was the hardest you could squeeze this block, I'd probably stay around a 5, 4 or 5. Don't overdo. And then lower down. Take your block to the second level between the knees. Inhale and tilt. Exhale, tuck. Lift the hips a couple inches, 3, 4 inches off the floor. Squeeze your block. Pause. Let the upper body be super soft. Big deep breath. And release. Grab your block. Take it into the widest level. Adjust your feet. And tilt. And tuck. And lift. Tilt and tuck and lift. Could that be a song? I don't think so. Feel the sit bones, right? Feel that lengthening, that drawing in and up of the glute muscles to support the hamstrings, the sit bones. Squeeze your block. And then lower down. Just one more. You're going to take that block to the second level again. Squeeze in. Tilt and tuck and lift. Give it a squeeze. And lower down. Set the block aside for now. I did forget, and I'm sorry to tell you to have your strap with you as well. So grab your strap and you're going to make this loop a whole bunch shorter, or as an option, if you could, you could double up your strap too. But I would just do I'd go shorter by a lot. It's coming around your thighs. And because if you have the double loop, you can't adjust it. And then feed your legs through your loop. Take your feet to the floor. That loop should be tight enough that when you press your thighs out evenly and in a neutral plane, which means the knees aren't splayed out, that you can feel the strap. Find neutral in your pelvis, so you're resting on your sacrum, and pull the strap apart. Just breathe. Again, it's that 4 or 5 on a 10 scale. Don't overdo. Feel your belly breath. Pull that strap apart. Optionally, just a small lift of the hips, a lengthening of the tailbone, but not overly here. Just a little bit of lift, a little bit of length. Again, if you felt right where those sit bones are, you'll feel the muscles. This one, it feels a lot better to a lot of people, a lot better than squeezing the block does. So breathe. And lower down. Leave the strap there. Take one block, place it underneath your sacrum. And just pause here. Be mindful, hold on to the sides of your mat, pull your belly in, lift your legs off the floor, and then straighten them up, and let the strap just hold the legs in place. So they're not going to go anywhere. I'm just gently pulling against the strap. Legs are pretty straight. Hands can be wherever you want them to be. They can be out to the sides, they can be down, they can be hanging onto your mat. Just breathe here. If you're flexing your feet, unflex them. Notice with the strap in place, if your toes want to just turn in more or out more. Mine want to turn in more and it actually feels good. I don't internally rotate a lot. Breathe. And then bend the knees, keep some pressure. Grab the sides of your mat again, because this just helps with the legs lowering, and then lower your feet back to the floor. One, you're going to stay right here. Two, and this is not for everybody, want you to lift your hips and turn your block on its second level. Judy, we played with this last week. So that the block is dead center along your sacrum. Okay. Now, and I think everybody can see this if you haven't done this before. For some people, this is way too high. The low back doesn't feel good. And for some people, if your SI joints are really feeling unstable, this won't feel great. So one, you either just stay here and think, just kind of feel it out, because I learned this from a chiropractor who was a yoga teacher. And he said that sometimes this will reset an SI joint that's out, because the SI joints are hanging on either side of the block. However, if you're really unstable and it's inflamed, this feels horrible. And if that's the case, I want you to go to the lower stable block where the SI joints are being supported on both sides. So just breathe, just kind of feel it out. You're not pressing against the strap. The strap is really there just as a placeholder at this point. So don't pull out. Just let that relax. Deep breath. One more breath here. And then engage the lower abs. Squeeze your glutes. You're going to feel your glutes kind of squeeze around that block a little bit. Push up off the block. Go back to the lowest level where both sides of the sacrum are supported. Bring the knees up. Take the strap out. Hold one knee in and straighten the other leg to the floor. Don't pull the bent knee. So I have my right knee up toward chest. Don't pull it in. Don't let the hips go cockeyed. I want a level pelvis here, relatively speaking, level pelvis. So don't pull the knee in, just let the one leg stretch. So stretching the psoas muscle a little bit. Deep breath. And then bring the straight leg in and straighten the bent knee. And again, don't hold the knee or try to draw it close to chest. Try to keep the hip points pretty even. Slide the straight leg in. 1 foot at a time goes to the floor. Squeeze the glutes, lift, come off your block. And lower down, pause for a second here. And then take your left leg straight up. Externally rotate the leg, bend the knee. Take the ankle to your right knee and draw the knees up toward your body, toward your chest. Play with the idea that you don't flatten your low back. You can flatten it and draw it in, right? That deepens the stretch, but play with the idea that maybe not. And just breathe, maybe rock a little bit. And then slide that knee all the way across to the other knee and bring both knees to chest. Should feel like a really nice stretch of that one hip. You can flatten the back here, by the way. And then optionally, we're going to go into a twist. You might want to grab one of your blocks. If your left knee is on top, we're going to go to the right so you can have the block over by the right and then twist and land on your block. Take the left arm out, take the right arm out. If that is just crazy, no way, no how, undo the legs. It's almost like an eagle pose legs without the hook. So don't overdo it. Deep breath. In and out. And you probably feel your feet on the floor. So if your knees are over to the right, I want you to use your right hand at your knees to pull those knees up, okay? Because otherwise you can really strain that side body. Undo your legs. Know that you're going to need a block on the other side if you want to move it. First, take the right leg up, externally rotate it. Take the ankle to your knee and bring the legs up toward your chest and just feel this stretch, figure 4. And breathe. Maybe you rock a little. Maybe you do little circles. That can feel really good, especially with all the work we've done, because you're kind of massaging all around that sacral area. And then cross knee over knee. Draw the knees into chest, let your back flatten. Little deeper stretch for most of us. Can be different for everybody. And then same thing on this side. You're gonna land those knees on a block on your left side. The right arm goes out, the left arm can go out. You can relax your feet and just let the knees rest or one of the knees rest on your block. Deep breath. So use your left hand to lift the knees up, take some of the weight off, and come back to center. Ooh, bring both of your knees to your chest. And again, if you happen to have your blocks in easy reach, I would take them underneath the thighs or the knees and then straighten both legs. Once you straighten, especially if they're behind the thighs, I want you to push into the blocks and squeeze your butt, and then lower the hips back to the floor and find Shavasana, everybody. Maybe you notice your hips, maybe they feel nice and even. The legs extend out, the arms soften out to your side. And feel the belly soften. Feel the legs soften. Let go fully.
See if there is any other part of your body that you can soften and release to the mat below you and the earth below that. Soften even more. Those of you who are ready, start to wiggle your toes and your fingers. Very slowly draw your knees up toward your chest. Rock side to side. And allow your knees to roll to one side or the other. Curl over. Pause here for a good deep breath. Exhale, let it all go. And then as you're ready, come on up, press up to your seated pose. Great start to a great day. Bring your hands to your heart. Bow to your own inner wisdom, your inner strength, your inner awareness. Allow that to guide you. Have a great day, everybody. Namaste.
Namaste. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.